iamhealthy is an educational organization. iamhealthy is a private company specialized in training and educational areas: medicine, nutritients, general topics, nutrition facts, agriculture, plants and animals, recipes and cooking guides. Today's topic: how to raise chickens. Number 1. Get plans for a coop and build it, or just buy one. Our advice: go to the store and buy chicken coops and save yourself the time and frustration of realizing you are likely not adept at carpentry or build anything. Number 2. Pick your breed and get your chicks. Just like dogs or cats or any animals, different breeds of chickens have different qualities. Some chickens are flighty and anxious. Some are cuddly and loving. Some are great egg layers. Some lay crazy color eggs. Some thrive in hot climates. Some are made for freezing weather. You need to decide what qualities are important to you and your family. If you're looking for a few suggestions of friendly, good-laying, non-anxious breeds, I recommend speckled Sussex, light Brahmas, or cuckoo Marans. We have all three and they are all amazing. And you can't beat an Easter egger for fun-colored eggs. You can get your chicks from one of three places: a farm, hardware store, an online hatchery, or a local hatchery. Most folks get their chicks from a farm store in the spring. Your selection will be limited, but some bigger farm stores will sell a huge variety of breeds. You'll probably want to get sexed chicks, ones that have been determined to be hens from birth. Look for signs that say, sexed, or pullet. If you see something that says, straight run, that means you get what you get, meaning you have a 50% shot at getting a rooster. Many farm stores only sell straight run chicks, so if you want to ensure you're getting hens, a hatchery might be your best choice. We ordered our first batch of chicks from an online hatchery, and just like everything in life, there are pros and cons. Pros: you get to pick your exact breeds, get only hens, and the chicks are normally in really good health. Cons: there is a lot of stress in the shipping process for both the chicks and you. You might lose some chicks if the weather gets cold or there are shipping delays. I think the best of both worlds is finding a local hatchery to you where you can pick up your chicks. They normally have better selection and better sexing than the farm stores, but you don't have to deal with the hassle and worry of shipping. You'd be amazed at how many small and large hatcheries there are, especially in rural areas. Ask around at the farmer's market or to folks in your area selling eggs. Or try Googling hatchery with the name of your area town. Now you need to decide how many chicks to get. It can be really tempting to pick up extra chicks. They are so tiny, and so cute, and so cheap. Most places will sell them for $3 to $5 each. But try hard to remember that each fluffy baby chick will become a big, pooping, eating, adult chicken, and you need to have space for them. I recommend starting with 2 to 3 chicks, and going from there. You can always add more chickens in years to come. With that few, you can really give your chicks the attention they need. They'll have friends to interact with, and you will get 2 to 3 eggs per day once they are laying. Number 3. How to raise chicks. Brooding box. This can be as simple as a cardboard box. It needs to be tall enough to keep the chicks from jumping out. It needs to be large enough for a food dish, water dish and the chicks. It also needs to be draft-proof. Cold drafts can kill chicks very quickly. Brooding boxes come in all shapes, sizes and costs. If you are not sure whether you will be brooding chicks again, get the cheapest brooder to start with. You can upgrade yourself later. Bedding. Something soft like pine shavings. These are sold in small bales at most farm stores and they are inexpensive. If your brooder box has a slick floor, like plastic, lay some paper towels under the bedding so they can grip and stand properly, otherwise they may develop problems with standing and walking. Warmth. Chicks require warmth, lots of it. They do not have true feathers until they are around 6 to 7 weeks old, so cannot regulate their own temperature, so you must help them. You can use a heat lamp or electric hen heat plate. They will need to be warmed for around 6 to 7 weeks or until the ambient temperature is roughly the same as the brooder. During the first week the temperature at chick level will need to be 95 F. This will reduce by 5 degrees each week until ambient temperature is reached. How do you know if they are warm enough? If they are all huddled in a bunch they are too cold. If they are spread to the edges of the brooder they are too hot. If they are dotted all over they are just right. A thermometer will help you with this too, but base your judgment on the chick's behavior. Food. Chicken food comes in a wide array of choices that can be confusing, so here's the scoop. It is recommended that you feed your chicks the following: 0 to 8 weeks, 18 to 20% starter feed crumbles. 8 to 14 weeks, 16 to 18% starter grower. 15 to 18 weeks, 16% finisher. 18 weeks upward, 16% layer feed. Chick feed can come as medicated or unmedicated. The medicated feed is medicated with a coccidiostat, which helps to protect them from coccidiosis, a terrible disease. If your chicks have been vaccinated at source for coccidia, then do not use medicated feed. Chicks are messy. They will scratch their food all over the place, poop in it and get their bedding in it, so you need a feeder that will eliminate some of that mess. For more details, see our article on feeders. Once they start eating greens such as short grass or dandelions, they will need a small dish of chick grit to help their digestion and make sure they don't get an impacted crop. Water. Water is essential to the well-being of all creatures, chicks are no exception. The water should be at Goldilocks temperature, not too hot, not too cold, but just right. You will need to dip the beak of each chick into the water at first so they know where it is. After this, they should all be able to find the water dish. Do the same with the food dish too. If your chicks are just a couple of days old, you will need to add some clean pebbles or marbles to the water dish so they can't fall in and drown. After a week or so, you can remove them since the chicks will now be big enough to not drown themselves. You can add an electrolyte vitamin supplement to the water for the first few days to get them off to a good start. Change the water frequently, several times per day, as they will kick bedding etc. into the water regularly. Hygiene. Whoever said, "Cleanliness is next to godliness," never kept chickens. I have already told you that chicks are messy, so you get to be room service for them. It is very important that their brooder area, feeder and waterer be kept clean. The poop needs to be removed daily. Change litter as frequently as you need. Once it becomes wet, it must be changed. Remember, the brooder is very warm, there is poop and it is wet. It is the perfect breeding ground for bacteria. Wash and sanitize the feeder and waterer at least every other day. If your chicks are as messy as mine, you will have to throw out a good amount of feed too. Once they poop in the feeder, out goes the feed. Of course, don't forget to sanitize and wash your hands before handling food or them. Security. Your brooder full of chicks needs to be somewhere safe from predators, and I include house pets as predators too. If you are keeping them in the house, you will need to ensure that Fido and Fluffy can't get to those little balls of fluff, perhaps keeping them in a separate room or a secure lid to the box. Try to avoid keeping them in areas such as the bedroom, dining area and kitchen. They kick up a lot of dust and dander. People who are allergic to dust may have problems with them in the house. If you intend to keep the chicks in an outbuilding, you need to be able to exclude any predators you may have in the area. Rats like a chick snack, as do foxes, weasels, raccoons and a host of other carnivorous creatures. They will need you to care for them intensively until they are around 12 weeks old. Some folks say sooner, but I err on the cautious side. Going outside for the first time. If you are thinking of putting them outside for a few hours every day, you will need to have something like a dog crate or even a mini chicken run for them. Of course, it will need to be predator-proof, and that includes hawks and owls as well as digging creatures like foxes. They will need to have a shady area where they can escape from the sun and keep the food and water cool. Number 4. Set up permanent housing. Your chicks will be in the brooder for about 6 weeks before they move into their permanent home, the coop. Guess what? 6 weeks is pretty much the perfect amount of time to research and build your own coop. Nothing like a deadline to get you cracking. If you're looking to do this on the cheap, I highly recommend building your own coop. The markup on pre-made chicken coops is unbelievably high. But, if you don't have the space, time, or resources to make your own coop, I highly recommend asking for recommendations on coops at your local farm store. Also, check on Pinterest for some great ideas for upcycled coops made from everything from refrigerators to children's playhouses. We ended up making our own coop using the garden coop plans. We modified those plans to be twice as big, because it's always a good idea to go as big as possible when you build a coop. You can always keep fewer chickens in a bigger space, but you can't keep more in a smaller one. We loved working with the garden coop plans, and they have a bunch of different sizes for different flocks. Highly recommended. Your coop will need some sort of bedding in probably 3 locations. In the nesting boxes, just use straw that the chickens will form into nests. In the hen house, we use cob just like we do in the brooder. And in the run, we use sand. Sand is easy to clean, like kitty litter, really affordable, and, most importantly to us, it helps keep the coop cool when it gets super hot here in the summer. Number 5. How to raise chickens. So now your chicks have grown up into real chickens. Managing your adult flock may sound like it's complex, but in reality it's fairly simple to do. The hen does all the work and you take care of her needs. However, there are certain things you should know before you get overwhelmed by hiccups in the process. Water. Water is essential to all living things and chickens are no exception. A hen will drink about a cup of water each day. She will take frequent small sips throughout the day. Too little water can affect egg production among many other things, so make sure they have plenty. There are approximately 15 cups of water to 1 US gallon, so if you have a lot of birds you will need a couple of drinkers for them. As an example, I have around 40 birds and I put out 4 drinkers in various places, which ensures they all have access to water. You can place the water in any sort of plastic container, but the easiest way is to buy a drinker. Food. In addition to water, the other key thing a chicken needs is food. Giving your chickens the correct food will keep them happy and turn them into an egg-laying machine. Give them the wrong food and it can lead to all sorts of problems including bullying and weight loss. You will also need a feeder to store the food in. You can read Chicken Feeders 101 here. Hen morning and evening routines. Unfortunately, most people lead busy lives and don't have all day to tend to their chickens. In the morning you will want to let your chickens out of the coop, check on their feed and water, and have a general look around to make sure everyone is okay. When the sun comes down, it's time to start the evening routine. This will include locking your girls safely inside the coop and also collecting the eggs if you haven't already done so. Of course, this is the bare minimum of caring for your girls. There will also be weekly tasks like cleaning the coop and tending to the nesting boxes. Number 6. Move your chickens into their coop and wait for eggs. You'll slowly want to introduce your not-so-baby anymore baby chicks to the outdoors, until the big day when they move into their coop permanently. Right around the 5 to 6 week mark is a good time to do it. Basically, when they have lost all of their fluff and have a full set of feathers to help keep them warm. If you plan on ranging your flock, you'll want to keep them locked in their coop for about a week to train them that the coop is their home. After that, you can let them free to range, and they'll come home to roost each night around dusk. It's magic. We've never had to herd our chickens into the coop at night. They know that's their safe home, and they automatically go there when things start to go bump in the night. And then, you wait. Keep the chickens fed, watered, and their coop clean, and within a few months, you should find your first egg. It's pretty much the most exciting thing ever. On average, chickens start laying at about 6 months old, but this can vary widely based on breed, season, and other factors. If your chickens are free-ranging or ranging in a pen, they might not know to lay their eggs in a nesting box, so if your hens show other signs of laying, most visually, if their comb is bright red, keep an eye out. We actually found our very first egg under a bush behind our house. You can fix the nesting box problem by locking the chickens up in the coop for about a week, and placing dummy eggs in the nesting boxes. Chickens like to do what other chickens do, so if they see another hen has laid there, they are more apt to, as well. Even since we did that, the girls have consistently laid in their nesting boxes. Check out videos on our channel and subscribe for more.